UFC Fight Night, Adesanya versus Imavov. Quick picks. Today, I'm going to be giving you guys my quick picks for Adesanya versus Imavov, the whole Fight Night card. This is a stacked Fight Night card, boys. It's a pretty freaking stacked Fight Night card. Starting it off with the early prelims, we got Al Sawadi versus Balaji Oki. For my quick pick, I'm going to be going with Balaji Oki. I think he's going to be landing the more damaging strikes, and I think he has a potential to knock out Al Sawadi, who has been knocked out before. Balaji's got power in his hands. He just struggles on the ground, and Sawadi will not be taking Balaji Oki to the ground too heavily throughout this fight. So I'm going to be going Balaji Oki by decision, but he could be finding a finish in this fight. We'll move on. We got Hamadi Al Dawad, what the heck, versus Jamal Pokes, heavyweights. You know, these are big boys. These are big fat boys. I'm be honest, but I'm going to be going with Jamal Pokes. I think he's got more experience. I think he's going to be able to go the full distance. You know, he showed that he can go the distance and he doesn't lose all of his cardio like most freaking big heavyweights do. Where Hamadi, or Hamdi, we don't really know go the full distance with a guy like Jamal Pokes who has the experience to do that. So I'm just going to be going Jamal Pokes. But this is a pick 'em, man. This is two big heavyweights. You know, this could go either way. So I wouldn't bet on this fight. But we'll move on. We got Bogdan Grad versus Lucas Alexander. I'm going to be going with Bogdan Grad. Bogdan Grad is a very great prospect. I'm going to be honest. He's a very good prospect. He looks like he's going to be an exciting fighter. Great dynamic striker. He's a great striker, and he can take it to the ground. And Lucas Alexander doesn't have the best fights, in his career. He doesn't have the most impressive wins, and he definitely has some bad losses. I just think Bogdan's going to pick him apart on the feet, and I think he's going to be putting the pressure on Lucas the whole fight until he crumbles. So I'm going to be going with Bogdan Grad to get this one done, probably by decision or by finish. Maybe by finish, but I think it's going to be a decision. I think these prelims will all be decisions. As we move on, we got Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Mara Bueno Silva. This is going to be a kind of close fight. Myra Buena Silva got destroyed in her last fight. She lost the TKO. Her face was completely cut open. So she dropped down in the rankings, but she's fighting somebody in Jasmine Jasudavicius, who is also a tough girl. She's very good on the ground. She's great in the grappling department, and she keeps coming at you the whole fight. I think this is going to be a close one. I think it will go the distance. So I am going to be going with Jasmine Jasudavicius. I think she will get her hands going, and I think she will get the takedowns on Myra Bueno Silva, who I don't think is able to do as much as you would think she could do on the ground as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter. I don't think she's the best on the ground, and she struggled in the striking department in her last fight against Macy Chiasson, I think, or it was one of those girls. But she struggled. She got destroyed. She got pieced up on the feet. And I think Jasmine Jasudavicius has underrated hands. So I'm going to be going her by decision. But we will move on to the main prelim where we got Faris Siam versus Mike Davis. These odds, man, I don't fuck with these odds. I don't understand. I'm going Faris Siam. I don't really have too much to say about this. Faris Siam just flatline Matt Frivola. Nasty knee. Flatline. Could have been KO of the year. Could have been KO of the year, to be honest. Disgusting knee. And he's fighting a guy in Mike Davis. The only reason I believe that Mike Davis is the favorite in this fight is because he has a decent submission game, and Faris Siam has been submitted by the boy right above, Terrence McKinney, on this fight card as well. He got subbed by Terrence McKinney a few years back, but Faris Siam has gone so much better. He's on a decent win streak right now, and I think Mike Davis doesn't really have that many skills to counter Faris Siam's amazing striking. I don't think he's going to have the range and the length that Faris Siam has. I think Faris Siam is going to be able to piece him up on the feet, keep this going the whole 3 rounds. I think it's going to go the distance. I think Faris Siam will land the better shots, do the more damage on Mike Davis. And I don't think Mike Davis is going to be able to take him to the ground and do what he wants to Faris Siam. Faris Siam's gotten a lot better. So I'm going to be going Faris Siam by decision. I don't think he's going to knock out Mike Davis. So we'll go Faris Siam by decision. But I'm going to move on to Terrence McKinney versus Damir Hadzovic. I'm going to be, this is hard. I hate picking Terrence McKinney, because he's one of those motherfuckers who comes out there and he's like, either I'm going to get knocked out or you're going to get knocked out, or I'm going to get submitted or you're going to get submitted. I don't like that kind of attitude from Terrence McKinney. I don't like picking him, but I can't pick Damir Hadzovic. So I am going to be going Terrence McKinney. If he does win, he is going to win by finish. I do think he will knock Damir Hadzovic or submit Damir Hadzovic out. because Demir has lost to most guys. He's not the best fighter. He's lost to a lot of guys who are just mid-range fighters, and then he only beats kind of the older guys, and he's just struggled throughout his career. Both these guys, their records aren't amazing, but Terrence McKinney has nice finishes, and he's beating some better guys. He beat Fares Siam, right? So and he also beat Matt Favola. He's beat some of these better lightweights. Damir Hadzovic has never really gotten up there. So I'm going to be going Terrence McKinney I think he's going to submit him. I'm going to go Terrence McKinney by sub. But I will move on to the next fight of the night. An absolute banger. One of my most excited fights of the night. We got Shamil Gaziev versus Thomas Peterson. Man, this is fatty versus fatty, but Shamil the Blob Gaziev. Of course I'm going to be picking Shamil the Blob Gaziev. He will destroy Thomas Peterson. I think he's going to knock him out, to be honest. I think we could see a nice Shamil Gaziev masterclass knockout on Thomas Peterson. I don't think Thomas Peterson's ready for the rankings. Shamil Gaziev is at number 15. He just broke into the rankings. Good to see him in the rankings. And we're going to have the Blob up in championship setting very soon, I believe. So we're going to go Shamil Gaziev by knockout. He could get the decision, but he does not have good stamina. He does not have good cardio. We've seen this time and time again. Shamil cannot go three. He can't really usually go the full 3 or 5 rounds. So I'm going to go Shamil Gaziev by knockout. But I will move on. Muhammad Naeev versus Khan Offley. I saw Khan Offley on, I believe it was one of the fight nights. I think it was Cannonier versus what's his name? Oh man, the fighting nerd. Cannonier versus the fighting nerd. I'm losing track of the names now. But Khan Offley got absolutely flatlined by Mayron Santos. He got caught with a nice, beautiful right hook and got put to fucking sleep. He got put to sleep bad. And I don't think Khan Offley is a bad fighter, but I believe that he pushes the pace. Like, he does come to push the pace, but he just doesn't keep his hands up well. And he doesn't strike with intention to try and dig to the body and dig to the head. He strikes, like, I don't know how to explain it. He strikes kind of like he wants to eat one to give one back. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's going to work against Muhammad Naeev, who is a guy who is going to piece you up on the feet, and he will take it to the ground. I think he will take it to the ground against Khan Offley and kind of do what he wants there. I'm going to go Muhammad Naeev by decision. I think he's going to decision Khan Offley very easily. I think it's going to be a pretty easy decision. So I'm going to go Muhammad Naeev by decision. But we'll move on to the last fight of the prelims. Ikram Aliskerov versus Andre Muniz. I don't really have to say shit about this fight. Andre Muniz, man, he's bad. I'm gonna be honest. Andre Muniz is bad. He barely beat Jung Park recently. Barely beat the Iron Turtle. Lost 2 in a row. Lost to Brendan Allen. Got submitted. And he's only kind of beat unks, bro. He's only beat older guys. He's only beat, for the most part, older guys at least. And when you're going up against Ikram, who of course he got knocked out by Robert Whittaker, but Robert Whittaker is the top of the top notch, right? Like, Ikram was coming in short notice and fighting a guy who's ranked number, what was he ranked, like 3 or 4 at the time? So, like, it's a pretty difficult task. So, now we got Ikram versus Andre. I think Ikram's going to walk him down. I think he's going to submit him or knock him out. I think it's going to be easy work for Ikram Aliskerov. I'm going to move on to the main card, though. Not too many fights on the main card, but we're starting it off. Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira. This is a fun fight. This is a really fun fight I'm excited for. Vinicius Oliveira, huge prospect. Said Nurmagomedov, huge prospect. This is prospect versus prospect. Both of them have 3 losses in their career, but Said Nurmagomedov has shown time and time again that he keeps improving. He keeps getting better. He has a great submission game, and his wrestling, of course, is top notch. He's a Nurmagomedov. It's to be expected. His wrestling game is great. And then we got Vinicius Oliveira, who is just a pressure fighter. He takes his time. He picks his shots perfectly. He absolutely destroyed Bernardo Sopai for one of the knockouts of the year. One of the knockouts of the year, without a doubt. That flying knee was disgusting. Vinicius Oliveira is a huge danger at 135, and so is Said Nurmagomedov. So this clash is going to be really interesting. But I'm going to be going with Said Nurmagomedov, not just because of the last name. I think he will wrestle Vinicius Oliveira. Vinicius Oliveira showed to give up positions in the wrestling. Even against Bernardo Sopai, he was letting him get takedowns and sit on top of him and land ground and pound. He can't be doing that against Said Nurmagomedov. Said will wrap up a choke, or he will land ground and pound. So I think Said is just going to get the takedowns and dominate for the most part of the fight. I'm not saying Vinicius won't land some good shots, but Said will be taking it to the ground for sure. But we'll move on. Sergey Pavlovich versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. This is a make or break for Sergey Pavlovich, man. He needs a win. He needs a win here. Rosenstrike is ranked quite a bit lower than Pavlovich, and Pavlovich is on back-to-back losses, lost badly to Volkov. Volkov destroyed his face for 3 rounds straight. And the fight before that, he lost to Tom Aspinall, of course. He got knocked out. Understandable. Tom Aspinall is the best in the world. But, he lost bad to Volkov. This back-to-back losses, excuse me. And he's fighting Jairzinho Rosenstrike, who I don't think is going to be able to imply as much damage as the other guys that he's fought, but he still needs to be careful. Sergey obviously has some of the heaviest hands in heavyweight, and I think he will be able to knock out Jairzinho Rosenstrike, but it's going to be close because it really depends how Sergey, comes out and looks, because he looked horrible against Volkov. He looked really bad. He was sloppy. He was winging shots, and Volkov was easily dodging. It was kind of just a mess. And now we got Pavlovich. He needs a win here. Otherwise he's going to be on a 3-fight skid. So I think he is going to get the win. I think he will find that knockout on Rosenstrike. Rosenstrike's been chinned quite a few times. He's been chinned pretty bad. But not to say that he couldn't chin Pavlovich too. I just don't think Rosenstrike is the most dynamic striker in heavyweight, and he doesn't have the most power either. So against a guy in Pavlovich who has an immense amount of power, he might struggle. So I'm going to be going Sergey Pavlovich by knockout. I think he's going to get it done in round 2. I think round 1, round 2, he'll get it done. So we'll move on to the co-main, Sharamagomedov versus Michael Venom Page. This is a fun fight. This is a fun strike. This is like a dream striking matchup right here. Sharamagomedov just broke into the rankings. Michael Venom Page, he's in welterweight. Shara's in middleweight. I believe they are fighting at middleweight. This is a 3-rounder, and it's just going to be a fun striking matchup. But, we got Michael Venom Page, who has a very unorthodox style, a karate style. He bounces around. He bounces on his toes, jabbing, big crosses, flying elbows, flying knees, like all sorts of weird stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how Magomedov deals with it. But I do think Shara's striking is cleaner. It's crisper. He's got more knockout power. Michael Venom Page wasn't able to knock out Kevin Holland. Wasn't able to imply enough damage or inflict enough damage to knock out Kevin Holland. And Sharamagomedov, beautiful win last time out. Double hammer fist or double spinning back fist. Absolutely disgusting. I think Shara is gonna be able to piece up Michael Page on the feet. I think he's gonna struggle in round 1 to adjust to Page's style, because it is something you got to adjust to. Ian Gary played a smart game. He took Page down, held him down, tried to go for submissions. That was the best way to go, to be honest, to squeeze out that decision. But Magomedov's not trying to squeeze out a decision. He's trying to find a knockout or a dominant decision. So he's going to have to kind of see how it goes in the first round. But I think Magomedov will take over in round 2 and round 3 and start landing those heavy shots and stinging Michael Page for sure. So I'm going to go Sharamagomedov. I think he will get the decision. I don't think he's going to knock out Michael Venom Page. So we're going to go Sharamagomedov by decision. But to the main event, Israel Adesanya versus Nasruddin Imavov. This is where it comes down to. And this is a fight that I still am not 100% sure of. That's why I've got the early picks, and I'll have my later, bigger breakdown of the video, a bigger breakdown video. So we're going to go Israel Adesanya versus Nasruddin Imavov. And I'm going to be picking, man. Oh, it's tough. It's tough. Like, I really want to ride with Adesanya, but something's telling me Imavov is going to take this fight. I'm going to be going Nasruddin Imavov. Early pick, at least. Early pick. Until I do more research, until I do the watch some tape, I'm going to be going Nasruddin Imavov. Jesus, I can't say his name. Nasruddin Imavov. By decision. I think he's going to beat Israel Adesanya pretty bad. I don't know. Like, I don't mean pretty bad, but Adesanya has taken some damage the past few fights. I don't think he's over. I don't think his career is done. I don't think anything's over. But Imavov is a guy that just keeps kind of picking up the pace as the fights go longer and longer. When he fought Allen not that long ago, he fought him not that long ago at Paris. I think it was in Paris. Yeah. He just picked it up in the second and third, and he started landing the shots, started connecting, started stuffing takedowns. Izzy's not going to be trying to take him down, but I think Imavov's going to be landing the more heavy shots. I think, if anything, Imavov is going to take down Adesanya. If he's smart, he watched the fight with Adesanya and DDP, and he saw how DDP easily took Izzy down. So I think Imavov is going to be trying to take Izzy down, maybe look for a choke, but probably just go for ground and pound and go for that dominant position. I think Imavov is going to get a decision over Adesanya over the 5 rounds, man. I don't want to say Adesanya's done, but after that Strickland loss, 5 rounds of getting boxed up by Strickland, just getting teeped and jabbed and crossed, that's definitely got to leave a mental hole, a mental kind of blockage in your brain. I don't think he's going to bounce back from that anytime soon. If he does, I do hope he does in this fight. I would love to see Adesanya back in the win column, but I think Imavov's just that win streak that kind of rolled as he's on right now, and he has kind of a momentum that I just think is going to carry him into taking Israel Adesanya's spot in the rankings. So I'm going to be going Nasruddin Imavov by decision. But that is the entire card. Early picks. That's the entire early pick for this card. If you guys did enjoy, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop your comments down below which fight you guys are most excited for, what you guys think about the main event, and I'll catch you boys in the next one. See you.